What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be going through the best undrafted players. Round 7 just finished. The video will be coming out a week or two after, maybe. I want to see where these players land. But right now, round 7 just ended. So I'm going to be going through all these players that I think are great and that are still available to be picked up. And then I'm going to, at the end, we're going to have like an extra little section where we're gonna go through where they landed and if it might work out or if they'll get cut or whatever's happening. So let's just get straight into it. Number 1, Frank Crumb. So as you can see in the picture, he is a hunk of a dude. 6'8", 313, big old dude. I sometimes had him mocked to when I was mess around with the simulator for my Patriots. I would basically just mess around and experiment with things where he might go in the 5th round, 6th rounds, 7th round latest, right? So I'm actually really surprised that he made it to undrafted free agency. I thought he would for sure go. Really weird situation with him. He's a really interesting looking dude, by the way. If you see a picture of him, he has some really interesting hair. I'll put a picture on the screen, maybe. You can't see it because of the helmet. But yeah, he's one to look out for. I'm really curious to see where he'll end up. It might be interesting for a team that doesn't really have a tackle. Just look for some competition on the right or on the left. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up. Next up, we have Isaiah Williams. He's one of my favorite players as well at Illinois. I don't know how he didn't get drafted. He's pretty small. He's very undersized, 5'9", 180. But, he's a good player. And, the production is there. The numbers are there. So, I have no idea how he made it out. And that's the case for most of these guys. I don't really see, besides the fact that he's undersized, which I understand is a big thing. But, you see smaller guys perform well all the time. Julian Edelman was drafted as a quarterback, or was a quarterback, pretty small. You bring him in, and the dude is unreal. Undersized guys perform all the time. I mean, even Amon-Ra St. Brown, I guess, right? So, I mean, I don't know how he's made it out. It's a common theme. I'm going to keep saying it. Really good player. It's going to be exciting. He's more of, obviously a slot guy this size, but, with him being a slot, he could fit into any team. He can be an extra little weapon. I could see him maybe. I mean, they don't really need another one. I guess it wouldn't hurt for the Chiefs. Just pick up another weapon. He's kind of like Malachi Corley, but way smaller. I could see him being used in interesting roles like that. I guess he's pretty explosive. Charles Turner, he's a center, but I also can see him playing guard. I should have probably put for position interior offensive line. 6'4", 300 pounds, pretty light. He'll most likely play a little bit heavier than that. You would have to assume. But he's a really agile center. Can move out to guard. He's definitely big enough height-wise. A little bit light, but, it is what it is. The problem is when you put, a big nose tackle right in front of him, like a Chris Jones or something, how's he going to respond to that? But ideally, in a perfect world, he's just quicker than most defensive tackles. Should be quicker than almost all of them. Pretty light guy, pretty agile. It would be interesting to see where he ends up. My guess is he goes somewhere like Detroit or something, where you can learn under a Frank Ragnow or something like that. So I think that would be a good fit for him. It'd be interesting to see where he ends up. Next up, Deshun Fenwick. I'm a big fan of Deshun Fenwick. Oregon State, I have no idea how he didn't get drafted. I'm a big fan of Deshun Fenwick. A really big fan. I think he's, sneaky explosive. There's a clip of him, bursting away from the defenders and then hurdling a dude. He's really good. And he's big dude as well. I guess he would profile, if you're looking at height and weight, is more of a power back, but also he can for sure run, and he can catch passes out of the backfield. I've seen rumors about the Patriots looking at him. I'm really hoping that happens. But any team that gets him is going to be getting a great player. Oh yeah, by the way, if I'm like sniffling throughout this, I'm a little bit sick right now, so that's kind of what's happening. Next up's Gabriel Murphy. I have no idea how he didn't get drafted either. I mean, people are, obviously when you look at UCLA, you're looking at the other side of the line with Leatu Latu, who's obviously much better. But Gabriel Murphy, who interestingly has a twin, Grayson Murphy, who's also in this draft. Um, and I like Gabriel Murphy way more. But 6'3", 260. He's kind of similar to Leatu Latu, just like a B-Tech version. He's not quite as good or explosive off the line, but he's definitely a decent little player. Well, he's not little at all, but decent player, and I could see him panning out fairly well. At least as a rotation edge rusher. It's not like he's going to be your number one guy. But if he can be a number 2, number 3, or even 4, I think he has a role in any team. Next up, Cody Schrader. He is my favorite one. Honestly, he's so good. He runs like he hates the ground, really similar to like Isaiah Pacheco. Beefy dude, right? 5'9", but still 214. Um, you know, if he puts on a tad more weight, he'll be unreal. Little power back. Um, he's such a good player, man. He led the SEC in rushing. He was the best running back in the SEC, and in my opinion, it wasn't particularly close. I don't know how he didn't get drafted. Would really hope. You're looking to draft him basically as an RB3 to start, but I think for sure at some point in his career he can be a rotation back or even a starter. There was one running back, I can't remember if he was super late round or undrafted, but he was pretty small and played for the Broncos for Philip Lindsay. He's different type of player, but still like pretty small. He's just gritty, and he had a starting role for like a year or two there. So, that's what I kind of can see with Cody Schrader. Okay, and now I'm back, like 2 weeks later, almost. And these are the landing spots from these undrafted free agents. So Frank Crumb to the Broncos. I don't hate that fit. It's just the Broncos are so bad, and they don't have many players, so they would obviously like to get a young tackle to develop. Isaiah Williams to the Lions, I love. I think he's an undersized receiver, a gritty receiver. I kind of not like comped him, but like said small receivers can succeed like Amon-Ra. And it's interesting that he goes to Amon-Ra's team in the Lions. Charles Turner goes to the Patriots, so I'm really excited about that. Same with Deshun Fenwick. I heard there were like rumors about that, but finally got signed. So I'm so happy about that. I mean, 2 of my favorite guys get signed. Gabriel Murphy to the Vikings, I think is a pretty good fit as well. They just lost, Daniel Hunter to the Texans, I believe, in free agency. And they need help on the defensive line. So he's not going to be your number 1 guy. You just got Dallas Turner also. He can be number 3, number 4 guy. And then Schrader goes to the Niners. I think that's fine. It's kind of like McCaffrey can do everything, but it's kind of like a change of pace back to McCaffrey, where he's gonna run hard, he's gonna run fast. They probably see in the Super Bowl what Isaiah Pacheco can do, and they're like, we want one of those guys. I'm sure they did not do that, but it is what it is. So really interesting landing spots here, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.